this is Val Campbell from StoneCeilingExperts.com, and we're going to talk a little bit today about granite countertops and backsplashes in homes and kitchens. Now, as you can see, I'm going to turn the camera here. We've got a granite countertop, and we have a tile backsplash. This is a glass tile with grout joints, and these surfaces might seem smooth, but in reality, they actually are porous. If you were to look at those under a microscope, you'd see all kinds of openings and fissures there. And this is why when you had your countertops installed or when you bought your home, they probably told you, now remember, you've got to clean and seal this at least once a year. And what we find is that most people think, yeah, that's no problem, I can do that. But then they forget, or they just don't get around to it. And pretty soon you've got a surface that is not protected any longer. And remember, this is like, most of these sealers are topical sealers, kind of like paint on the side of your house, except these surfaces are constantly being scrubbed and abraded, and those topical sealers wear off. So your surfaces now, your hard surfaces, are exposed to penetration by foreign materials like water-based materials like grape juice or red wine, or grease-based materials, oil-based materials like olive oil or perhaps bacon grease or cooking grease. And those materials can get in there and get down in those pores, and because the topical sealers don't really do a job of changing the nature of the stone, they just lay over the top of it, and they're pretty big molecules, so they don't actually get down very far inside the pores. Your stone is exposed to being damaged from stains. The same thing goes for grout joints, by the way, same situation. Now, what they don't typically tell you is that we do have the ability to use products that employ nanotechnology. Now, nanotechnology means two things. One, the molecule is very, very small. And the products we use are probably the molecule is about 400 times smaller than the molecule of the topical sealers that typically are used. The second thing is, rather than just laying on top like a coat of paint, what these materials do is they penetrate down deep into the fissures of the stone, and they literally bond molecularly and change the nature of the surface of the natural product. Okay? Now, obviously, this isn't going to work with something like acrylic countertops or things like that, some of the synthetics. But if it's a natural surface, it's going to perform very, very well. It's going to get down in there and change the nature of the surface of that stone so that your product is protected. And this is a valuable investment in your home, both in terms of money and in terms of the quality of your living environment. So what we can do is we come in, and first thing we do is we test to make sure that the surface has not already had some kind of a topical sealer applied to it. Because if that's the case, then possibly we won't be able to use one of these nanotechnologies, because the topical sealer prevents it from getting down in there and making molecular contact with the stone. The next thing then we do is we come in and we'll steam clean that surface to get any foreign materials up out of those pores and get rid of it, so that the products we use can actually make contact with the stone. We apply the product, and then over the period of about 12 hours or so, it creates the initial bond, and it will continue to develop more bond over the coming weeks. But after about 12 hours, you can use the countertop, everything's great. And because it changes the molecule on the surface of the stone so that it's hydrophobic, meaning it's not going to accept a bond from anything that's waterborne, or, as a matter of fact, even oil-based things like olive oil and grease, it won't stain. And now you've got a situation where your stone, your natural surface, whether it be stone, I guess, or grout joints, or travertine tile, or things like that, they're naturally protected permanently. Okay? Val Campbell, StoneCeilingExperts.com. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this explains a little bit more about how we can permanently protect your natural surfaces using nanotechnology.